my God, it's nice to see you look so good.
I try my best.
Green is my favorite color.
Trying to get my posture right.
Yeah, I know, me too. We're both gonna be just proper choir kids.
My little vest is a little tight, you know?
Thank you. Okay, I was just telling them, this little number right here is rude. Don't go close, okay?
Skinty. You know?
Yeah, I'm so skinny. No, before we start, y'all, my band is joining us on a few songs this hour. So let's also hear it for Jason Halbert on piano, Jesse Collins on background vocals, and Dr. Caraco on guitar. So usually we go back to early songs by artists, but so much of Teddy's story up until now has had to do with him just covering songs and just crushing the original artists. We want to start with the songs he began uploading with friends, and that's how I found you in the YouTube vortex one night. I listened to like 1 billion of your covers. Wow. And I know I've said this like when we first met, but you're so crazy talented at covering songs and making them your own. In like a completely different genre sometimes. But when this was all happening and you're uploading all these files with your friends, y'all were all living together at the time?
Yeah, well, not for the first couple of them. I think we, so I was just coming out of a really bad relationship, and it was so weird. Like I was living on my own. I had a couple friends move out of my house, and on the way to work one day, I was waiting tables at this place. My car broke down, transmission went out. I walked the last bit away. Literally walked the last bit away.
Bring on the locusts.
Oh, it was crazy, yeah. I walked to work and I get there and they're closing the place down. Everything fell apart. I called my dad and I'm like, Dad, you know, can I come drop my mattress on the floor, you know? And so started working at Chili's down the road in Loganville, Georgia, and we started doing these covers. And well, originally, you know, we started writing songs and doing a bunch of stuff. And it was June 25th of 2019. It was 10 years of Michael Jackson's passing, you know. And so we had found the stems of Rock With You online. And it's so cool. I was like, we should upload this as a homage to him. And what's so cool in the stems too, you can actually mute everything, and there's a track of Rod Temperton doing the mumble vocal.
Yeah.
And he's just on there, like you can hear him going, like it's so neat. You can hear everything about the whole song and the way it was created and everything. It was so cool.
That's cool that you could find that and have that online. Like not everybody And
so we, you know, just tracked it and woke up the next day and was like, holy crap, dudes, we got like 10,000 views on this. Let's get hammered.
This is the first one to kind of hit right now. Let's do it. This is amazing. You love so many kinds of music. So what was the first album you got? I'm curious, what was like your...
you know, I was in the 6th grade. You know when your parents used to get you CDs for Christmas, and you knew they were CDs because they were wrapped in So I was so excited. So the first album I ever opened up, there was 2 of them I had Hybrid Theory by Linkin Park and No Pads, No Helmets, Just Balls by Simple Plan. And,
I love those, I love those. I also feel like we have something in common too. A teacher actually got you into music, right?
Yeah. So I was in the 4th grade. I went to live with my dad for a bit at a time, and I remember my first day there. I was so lucky to put in my the class with my cousin Cole, and right after recess, you know, Miss Berry, she was like, if you guys come back, do your workbooks, and everybody just completely quiet, I'll put on Al Green. And it's so crazy how these
cool teacher.
how these eight-year-olds are just like, I mean, walk into class in a straight line with the bubble and everything, like not a word.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm even like, who's Al Green? They're like, shut up, dude. Like, you know. And we get back, I'm doing a workbook, and I remember, it's like a core memory for me hearing like, I'm so tired of being alone, and I was just like, you know, and these kids are feeling this heartbreak at such an intense level at 8 years old. You know, it's like, you guys don't know what that's about, you know? But girl, kids do. Kids do. So deep, man. And I never forget how that changed my life, and going home and telling my dad, like, dude, Al Green is so sick, you know. And he put me on the Boys to Men, and we listen to Keith Sweat all the time,
God.
And like that stuff.
You got me twisted.
Girl, like I was so into it, and just put me on to so much soul and R&B music, and I just, you know, I remember it changing my life forever. You know?
You can definitely tell you're an R&B fan. Your runs are incredible.
Well,
and they sound effortless, like they've been like innate in you from childhood. It doesn't sound like you're trying.
Oh, girl, they were not though, by any means.
Something I did find funny, because like I remember when I first went down that YouTube vortex with you and like saw these covers, I thought it was hilarious because one of them was from like a musical, and I was like, this dude is into musical theater, but you were in musical theater.
Yeah, it changed my life, man. I remember my first time like auditioning for this thing. I had to Corner the Sky from Pippin.
Yeah.
And I remember singing that song, and it was just like so terrified too, singing in front of people, like just
Yeah.
looking at my feet, so scared.
Yeah.
I remember when we were doing shows, I would just not talk, say anything for 3 hours, just stare at a wall, so terrified of getting on stage. And now it's
Really?
now it's second nature to me. You know, I feel more comfortable here than I do.
I know, I was gonna say, you seem so like wild at heart in a great way. Like you seem like
I was
very
terrified,
comfortable.
you know, terrified. I just wouldn't, I mean, when even when I was a kid, I wouldn't even talk to my grandma for the longest time. I was just a shy little baby. I was like, I don't know about
She's
dad. I
like
don't know about her dad.
Talking to your parents, like, there's something wrong with him. It's like, so wait, there's a song by Lady A that reminds you of your old buddies, right?
Yeah,
Explain why.
I mean, they're still in my band, and I remember when that song came out. That became our song. You know,
Yeah.
when we were. You know, I don't want to disclose what age we were getting hammered all the time together,
Yeah.
but
A totally appropriate age, NBC.
yeah. But I remember we play that song to each other all the time and sing that song. And I know, again, it's like a thing like music. You know, when I hear that song, it always just, instead of it being a significant other, it reminds me of like being hammered with my buddies and
Yeah.
like slow dancing together.
This
and,
is,
you know, like,
this is the best part
Yeah.
to me, is that you're hammered with your buddies going, need you
Yeah.
now.
come here, baby, give me some love. I love you.
It makes me love you more just seeing that moment. Anyway, when did you start, you know, covering songs, but when did you start writing your own music?
You know, me and Jesse, we started when we were, I want to say going in like the 8th grade or something. His dad was always playing, you know, and his dad, man, is the best. He was in bands, and I remember hearing him sing for the first time going over to Jesse's house. He played Wanted Dead or Alive by Bon Jovi.
Yeah.
Played it, and they had the PA, and I was like, we got to be like your dad, man. And we started messing around with stuff, and I mean, a lot of the stuff at the time, we were always getting off the bus and walking to each other's houses, and you know, would listen to MySpace bands and find all these bands and show each other, and it was super in the emo vein, you know.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it was like. They were bad songs. We never finished anything. It was
Yeah.
like, you know, like we were always trying to find a bassist or like trying to find some kids
Yeah.
that would play with us, you know. But I mean, everything sucked for sure. You know? We're not good. I buy anything.
I mean, my first songs are not good either.
Yeah, God,
Yeah.
I still write bad ones. You
I know. That is, I know, I tell people that all the time too when I work on The Voice. I'm like, you're gonna write like so many bad ones for every good one that you're like, wow, I'm really proud of that
You
one.
got to get to the good ones.
Yeah, and you
man.
gotta be, you can't be rather afraid to suck. You can't be afraid to like say
Yeah,
something.
It's completely, I will
It's a hard
suck
thing
again.
to do. Yeah. It's all right. Yeah. You have a duet though with Maren Morris. It's so,
Yeah.
I love your voices together. That's another voice you
She's
just sound
awesome.
incredible with. Yeah, she's such an amazing person at blending as well. And it's called Some Things I'll Never Know. So how is this song special for you? What's this about?
Dude, that song has changed my life in so many ways. I always give this spiel when I'm on stage before we sing it, and you know, I still cry every once in a while singing this song. To me, it's about like the lack of closure you get in relationships. You know, like I usually sometimes like when a significant other or a friendship, when something ends, you know, they rarely tell you why they're leaving, or they usually don't tell you that there's somebody else in their life. A lot of times they block you, and then they have somebody's kid, and you know.
Wow,
like
these
that,
are
you know?
that's
Not that happened to me. I'm just saying.
that's never happened to me,
Yeah.
but that sounds
Me, I happened to
horrible.
a friend of mine.
Yeah.
And,
I know this person that's horrible.
but when I was dealing with closure, you know, and
You don't
as,
get it.
Yeah, and as I'm trying to learn to accept things that are out of my control, and then it's not about me, and hopefully their life's better, hypothetically, of course.
Yeah.
And you know, as much as you try to move on, there's always those questions you ask yourself, and I don't know. I guess this is not the answer to those questions, but hopefully some sort of knowledge that there is that, you know, that it's helped me in my journey to acceptance, you know?
Yeah.
And that's the only internal closure, I guess, is all you get.
Yeah, but in the song you write, I can fool my senses for a little while, but some things are too hard to reconcile. What do you really mean by that?
That's to me that line is you know, about numbing those, you know, getting anything that would take you to numb, from alcohol abuse to other things that I had used in my life that, you know, once again, I will not disclose right here. but,
Yeah.
but, you know, just trying to, you really got to face things head on, you know, it's taken me a long time in my life to get to a place of facing things head on and not numbing things and leaning on alcohol
lot
for
of
this.
us.
And yeah, you know,
Yeah.
and the harsh reality is it's hard to face head on. And it's something that I still to this day struggle with, you know,
Yeah.
and I'm working on it, you know.
Yeah. So we talked about your dad being emotionally vulnerable. How's that helped you, like shape you as a man?
Oh, it's yeah, you know, it's made me a man. You know, I think, and hopefully with my son too. I think your father is what shows you how to be one. You know, and I'm so grateful to have had that example. So many kids I see don't really have a father or a good one at that. You know,
Yeah.
and so I always will never take that lightly, and I just love. He's my best friend in the world, and I love that man.
And
so.
now you get to be a daddy.
Yeah. My biggest fear though is having him as a granddad because I'll never be cool. You know what I'm saying?
You're always gonna be cool.
He's like that's big shoes to fill. You know, I mean he's got like a size 16 or something. So yeah.
No, you're always gonna be cool. How do you think though you're now a dad, right? So how has this changed for you? Like, and your music, and I mean, it's got to change you a little bit.
You know, there are times now when there was like I was always wanting to feel like I should be going and doing this, or I should do this or do this, and now if you're sitting there on the couch doing absolutely nothing, and you're here, that is the most productive thing I can be doing. You know, and that's like
Just
so
sitting in that moment.
my time is so much more valuable with doing absolutely nothing. You know, I think I'm so much more present in every moment and trying to realize that all this time is so special. You know.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I didn't have kids, and I ran into. It's gonna sound like a name drop. It's not meant to be that. But we were at the Grammys, and Adele, she hadn't put out a record in a while, and I looked at her, I was like, "Girl, when are you gonna come out?" And then she was like, "You know what? Do not have a kid, because when you have a kid, nothing else is cool." Like she was like, "It's hard to rip me away from my kid," and I didn't really understand that. And that's when you're saying like your time is valuable. That's true. Like now my kids, I'm like, I love what I do. I love being able to sing. I love being creative. I hate saying no to things, but it's real easy to say no when you're like, no, this little right here is dependent upon me, and I love it, and I want to be around this little boy, little girl.
I needed the whole thing for so long. I needed all of it, like the biggest thing in the world, and they can have that, man. They can have that. I don't care.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
She was so true that I was like, I'm not gonna be like that. And then it turns out I was. So, but wait, I have this to say too, because your girlfriend RAICHE, I found out we have our favorite song is the same song of yours. Like we have the same. She loves the rain.
That's her jam.
Yeah,
and,
it's my favorite too.
God, she's the best. The best, man. I love her so much.
She's got good taste in music.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Why does she say she loves it so much?
That's just been since we put the record together. She just loves. I mean, of course, she loves the rain, you know, and
me too.
And I think the beauty of that song is kind of like what she's given to me in so many ways is that. Never try to change me or never try to fix the things that are wrong with me or give me a space to feel like, oh, fix me, mommy. You know what I'm saying? Which way we go into a lot of relationships like, you know? And I feel like she sees these parts of me that are the trauma and the baggage that I bring along that we all carry into relationships we go into. And it doesn't try to change those, but finds those parts of me so beautiful and wants, you know, loves the person that I am because of those things and isn't like a jealous or like, you know, angry, you know, it's given me so many tools to accept those parts of myself that I thought were ugly at some point. You know?
And that support I know, and that's why I love the line, she loves the rain, so maybe she can, you know, love someone like me, you know, basically. And I'm like, oh, I love that line. It's so beautiful, and it's beautifully said. Do your old songs like transport you back to where you were? Like when you're singing, because I heard you say earlier, you'll catch yourself crying, and I do that too on tour. I'm like, oh, why did that hit tonight, you know? But does it transport you back?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is especially being a theater kid, I feel like there's a level of acting that comes in singing. You know, you have to be able to authentically put yourself back in, especially songs about heartbreak, that take yourself right back to that space that you were in, open that old wound, and feel it completely deeply again, the same way you felt it then for 3 minutes, you know, 2.5 minutes. And what I love about that is it's great because, you know, it does hurt, again, for 2.5 minutes. But on the other side of that, when the song's over, I can take a step back and snap out of it and say, I can't believe I was able to get through that, and
Yeah.
I take ownership of that and really share it and move forward. And it's always better to feel on the other side of it and say, like, it did get better and it does get better. And I think the biggest thing for me always learning is that, like, when it comes to writing songs, it's easy to write a love song when you're in love, and it's easy to write a heartbreak song when you're heartbroken. And I try to find a way to now, when I'm writing, if I want to write that, tap into those old pain instead of like putting myself in harm's way, like I tend to used to
like
do.
dumbass artists do.
Yeah. So I'm working on that.
I gotta be sad to create art.
Yeah,
it's
like, so silly. Yeah, it's so silly. And
my mom will say, I don't know if your parents ever called you out on this, but when I'm on tour, I go into like character mode, but my mom will be like, it's really beautiful, you're in this moment, and then all of a sudden you're like in between songs. She's like, and then you start just like being a total nerd, like in the middle of it, you like, and I break character though, but I have to do that to break out of it. Yeah, so I don't sit in it.
You know, I think there's one rule I always live by when I'm like on stage, because it's a lot of heartbreak, but it's a lot of fart jokes, you know? And I will always say,
because when is farting not funny?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. We all think farts are funny. We've all had a heartbroken. You know, that's a recipe for success in my book. Yeah, it's worked for me, so.
Well, your latest single is God Went Crazy, so talk about this one. I love this one too.
This one really, it came from a lot of places, you know, so like, I think originally, there was a few different rooms that it went through. So like, originally like Michael Pollack and like Monsters and Strangers, I think John Bellion, all wrote it together in this room. And then it was a different song, but with that title. And then it went to like another room with like Jeff Kitty, and then like, I don't know, Monsters and Strangers like reworked it. And then it went to like John Ryan, who I work with a lot, and then brought it to me and Julian, and then we rewrote the thing again. And so I know it like...
Had a lot of iterations.
And I don't know any of them other than the ones we landed on, but I'm happy it made it to me and we got it across the line. But I know it saw like, it's, you know, it has like 300 writers on it. Not really, but, you know, a bunch of us on it. And I mean, I think the song is so beautiful. So,
it's cool though, because I love where it landed. It's perfect how it is. It's cool though how it does take... Like even our most recent single that we put out, it had so many different kind of lives to it. But do you catch yourself sometimes when you're on stage going, what did we end with?
Oh, yeah.
Like, wait, what did we end with?
Like when you rewrite verses and rewrite choruses and stuff. Yeah, you rewrite the words of things and you like want to sing this chorus and you're like, oh, that's not the words anymore.
And you're like, so that's not what we ended with, but you're welcome. It was special for this audience. Yeah. Writing songs, I feel this, that can reveal to you kind of what you're going through? Like you don't even realize it until you wrote it?
You know, I mean, the beautiful thing is like The Door, you know, to set that up, it's one of those songs too, when I was still going through this mess with my ex at the time, and we were out in Palm Springs writing, and weirdly enough, The Door and Lose Control were in the same day. And
what a productive day.
Yeah, it was crazy, dude.
Congratulations.
It was such a beautiful day. I remember crying to Julian at that time and just falling apart that day. And when The Door was, you know, conceived, I remember going home and being so stoked about that song, but I felt like I was like numbing myself so much at the time, and
you didn't realize?
Didn't realize like what my subconsciously what my brain was saying in that song, because I remember showing it to my girl at the time and her being like, you know, what's this like about, like, you know? And I'm like, oh, nothing, babe, you know. And after the song, we got through it, and you know, I remember the song like as soon as we started performing it, and me being on the other side of all that pain and being like, oh my God, I was like telling myself this whole time to get out of this situation before it kills me, you know? And it's so nuts that a song can really do that to you, and you can. I know it's like your heart wants to do something, say something to you that you're just not listening to.
Like your subconscious is like, hello.
Yeah. Manifesting itself in so many ways, whether it be bad dreams or you know, anything, you know.
Oh, another good one. Okay, well, how did The Door come together musically? Like,
so my buddy Ammo, man, one of the greatest writers and producers.
And coolest name.
Yeah, he's cool, dude. He's a man. One of the best daddies in the world, too. He's the best, dude. So he had came with Lose Control, the beat of that, and The Door. And I remember Julian that week being like, whatever it is, these two songs, if we only get these two songs done this week, I know these are special. Yeah. And Ammo just had the mumble of everything. Similar to like what I was saying about Rod Temperton on Rock With You, you know? It was just him doing mumbles. And I remember walking into the room and being like, what is this? Like, it was perfect. And so we pretty much like everything, even to the syllables, was like we kept the same. Like sometimes when you're on the microphone and just mumbling through and just getting the melody right, sometimes your mouth kind of says little things or like.
And the percussion, your cadence.
And I remember being like, did you see when I showed you the door, you know? And then, and then it was like, oh, maybe that's the thing we're working. And we started kind of writing, Tonight I Saved My Life. And then it all just kind of started falling into place. And I mean, this was one of those too, where we had a few different verses. And I'm the type of person that's like, look, dude, like, I don't want to overthink anything. I'll do it one time and get it done. And Julian likes to rework verses over and over again, and it drives me absolutely insane. And sometimes it's the right thing to do, overthink things, but God, I hate him for it sometimes.
Yeah.
He just overthinks and overthinks and picks.
Oh my God, cool, we're still talking about this. That's fun.
He just sings like 150 versions of a song, and I'm like, dude, I don't care. Just like,
at this point, you have worn me down. Yeah.
I didn't we'll even get to fights about 1 BPM difference, and then by the time it's time for us to play it live, I'll realize when we get the stems from him, it'll be like 0.5 different, and I'm like, you.
This is
had to
called
win that fight so bad. Yeah, he had to win that fight so bad.
I love it. I love that kind of friendship. Oh my God, give it up for Daddy.